Okay, so this car behind me is actually finished. I finished what I need to do. It's going to go off and get its engine, gearbox and tail shaft put in, and it'll come back to me and I'll start checking everything out and look for leaks, look for anything that needs to be adjusted, and do some fine tuning, and then obviously get it on the road and get the front end done. But what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to spoil it for you now, I'm actually going to take you back to the very start of when I got the car and what it looked like when it arrived. It was half sort of finished as far as reassembly is concerned. It's all finished now. All the electrics work and everything else works. So let's take you back to the very, very start of when it arrived, and I'm going to take you through installing the heater box, doing the electrics, putting the wiper assembly in, a whole heap of things. So if you're building your car at the moment, this is a good reference video for you to have a look at some of the things that take place when these cars get built. Here we go. Got to put all the light buckets in, all your grill, because the grill actually, the rear spares ones come apart. So I've got to glue that back up. I've just put all the stainless drip rail gutter molds in, so they're on with the correct gaps in there. And I'm just proceeding on to putting all the wiring in. The seats are going to come back out again so that I can put the carpet in correctly, and then put the dash pad in, and also the dash, under dash. I'm just gonna do a bit of work to those and get them ready. And then get the heater box in as well with all the components, wiper assembly and wiper motor. So there's still a fair bit to do. But you know, the good thing about these ones is that they come to me sort of half pre-assembled. So more than happy to finish up what needs to be done and make sure it's done correctly. I found a lot of screws and bits and pieces already that just aren't to this car. They're from Bunnings. So I need to fix those up and go through the car again, make sure that everything's correct as I see it, and we're good. Right, I've managed to get everything back in here as far as getting it ready for its heater box. So the wiper motor's in, the wiper mechanisms are in. Hot tip, when you're looking to install these, you need to plug that into a car and turn it on, turn it off, make sure that it resets itself to the correct position, because you could be 180 degrees out, which is not good. It means the wipers would come down instead of go up on the windscreen. So it's just something that I've learned before. Now I'm going to install this heater box that I've restored, and that's going in next. So when installing the heater box, you need to take this vent off first. You'll notice that this vent has oval holes here. That's so when you install it, you've got some room to move and push it up against the firewall when it goes in. I'm just taking out the last bolt in here. It's already got all its gaskets on because there's a gasket kit that you buy, so this thing's ready to go back on. But I just want to take this part off first. And actually, a tip, you just got to use a little bit of tape on the bottom here to hold these bolts in when you put it back in. Otherwise, they'll fall out as you're going to install it. So just a couple of small things just to pre-work before you install it into the car. And make sure that all of your gaskets are on the bottom. Right, that's sitting in all the holes. So it's now sitting in all the holes. I need to get underneath the car, back inside the cabin, and use the bolts and tighten everything up. But then part of that's also going to be the heater and vent assembly inside. So for now, I just want to get the cover back on in here. It's in position, and I want to finish off what I need to do in here, and then I can start working inside the car. This heater vent goes in on an angle. that. Now I can put all the rest of the bolts on. And this is where the oval shape comes in handy, because you can then move the box backwards and forwards. Cool. So that's all in. It's a bit hot in here. That's all in. Now I've got to put everything in underneath and then bolt it all down, and I'm going to start working on the heater controls which come out through here and on the top. Make sure everything's okay, and then I'll move on to the interior. Okay, so I'm just finishing off the brake lines now because I'm waiting for the hoses, the snakeskin, correct snakeskin hoses have been installed there. Got the fuel line in and running to the front of the car now as well. I'm just going to do the front brakes and the master when it comes back from the reconditioning shop, which should be a day or two away. And then this car is nearly finished for now. It's going to go off and get its running gear in, but before that needs to happen, I need to put the interior in. That's the adjustment you have for your door, right? But you can see that there's, I'll move my hand, overlapping metal just there. And that's this needs to come out further this way. So I just have to make some slight modifications so I can get that extra couple of mil, because that's as far as it goes. And it needs to go further this way. So I'm going to take some of this edge off and I'm going to file some of that. This has had repairs. You can see I've got movement. See that? Now I can go all the way over to the left properly. Got some extra play that I did behind here. I can now shut the door perfectly. It would not shut like this at all. It was only shutting like that. That's as far as you could get it. But now it shuts. Just got to know what you're doing. Managed to finish off all the electrics. The only issues that I have at the moment is the door light switch isn't working, but the light switch actually works when you turn it on, so I've got to chase that. Parkers, headlights, everything else works. I'll show you. That's just on parkers. So what I want to do is I want to be able to get this car ready so that all they have to do is go put the engine in and a gearbox, then they send it back to me because I've still got some work to do on the front end. And then I want to check everything before it gets driven. Then once it gets driven, it needs to come back and I need to go over it again and put it on the hoist just to make sure everything's right. So I'm going to crack on with changing over a gauge. There's a typically with these fuel gauges, they break. You'll actually see this one's broken in there. Can you see that? That's because that diode breaks over time. You've got to send them away and get them fixed. Need to swap the gauge over and the housing because they're date coded for this car, and get it back in there and get it working. But everything else that I've tested up so far works. You know, the lights work, dash lights work, cigarette lighter works. all the electrics work if I turn them on. Interior fan works. Indicators. Even the lighter works. Indicators left and right. Horn works. That's pretty much it. Wipers work. All the electrics is done. Now so I've got to put the calipers on, and there is actually a mounting for that needs to go on. A lot of people forget to put them on. I haven't done this front end, so it will come back to me, and I'm going to do a whole heap of adjustments on it because a lot of stuff's not exactly right on it and needs to be fixed. This one's finished, and it's off to go get all this running gear put in because I'm not doing that. It's going to a different area, then it'll come back. Now I'm on to that one, and then that one's next because that's the running gear out of that one.